Welcome back to Drinking by My Shelf. I have come up with a totally harebrained scheme. I am going to read this series of unfortunate events in 24 hours. This is a terrible idea and also impossible. These books are not actually that short. I have never done a 24-hour readathon before, but ages ago, like several months ago, I was looking at my shelf and I remembered that I bought myself this series of unfortunate events like 3 years ago. I have read the first 5 or 6, maybe up to like book 8 several times. I have never made it all the way to the end. And a few years ago I decided to buy myself the full series so that I would read it. And then of course, never did. So I thought, Emma, what if you've always wanted to do a 24-hour readathon, you've always been too scared, you wouldn't be able to do it. This feels like the perfect way to fill 24 hours. And then just like everything fell into place because I had actually chosen this weekend already. I like put it in my diary as a weekend when I didn't have anything else on so I could do it. Then Lauren announced Cozy Reading Night was going to be on the Saturday night. So I was like, perfect, I can do that and keep reading these books. And then I saw on Rachel Marie's Twitter that she is co-hosting a 24-hour readathon over this weekend called the Cozy PJ Day-a-thon, or just PJ Day-a-thon. Which goes from 8 AM to 8 AM. So it's like literally everything is falling into place. I was already planning to do this and now there's going to be other people there to kind of help. We'll be cheering each other on. I might actually be able to make it. I am now looking at these like severely doubting I'm going to be able to read 13 books in 24 hours. That's like, I need to read each of these in less than 2 hours. And that means like taking no breaks, whereas I'm planning to take lots of breaks. I can't actually just read for 24 hours, my eyes will stop working. I am going to need snacks, I am going to need caffeine. Times like this I really wish I liked coffee, but I hate coffee. All of the audiobooks are on Scribd, so if I want to get up and like go for a walk, go to the gym, I can keep listening to it. I'm too old for this shit. And yet I'm doing it, and yet here we are. It's time, it is 8 AM, it's time to get cracking. I'm literally coming straight down in my pajamas, picking up book 1, sitting by myself on the sofa and diving straight in. The first live show for the PJ Day-a-thon is at past, so I'm going to see how much I can read in the first half an hour before I make myself some breakfast and then go and watch the live show. Oh my god, so nostalgic already, even just the dedication to Beatrice, darling, dearest, dead. And I also really remember, yeah, here there's one literally on the second page, the definitions that he gives of words that are like technically correct. So he'll put in a word and then say which here means, and then just give it like the very specific definition of what it means in that sentence. So I suddenly have this like very strange vocabulary as a 10-year-old, all these words that I kind of knew the meanings of. It must be so funny for parents to read it and be like, well, he's not wrong, that is what it means, but that's not the most helpful way to define that word. I loved it. Anyway, going in. There aren't too many words per page, so I feel like I might be able to get through this one pretty quickly. Okay, I'm making pretty good progress. It is almost past and I am almost halfway through the book. So I've been going pretty fast. So I'm going to get myself some Cocoa Pops now, my Saturday morning treat, and go and sit in front of the live show on Meg's channel, which I think is going to be a live read so we can all read together.
Are we in our pajamas? I'm good. I love that Emma's trying to read all the series of unfortunate events.
Oh my gosh.
How many are there in total?
There must be like 15 or something.
Okay, time to settle down and read with these guys on the screen. So over the last half hour they had a little game to see who could spot the most colours in their reading. And I think maybe I won, got a little shout out.
My main character is called Violet.
I think I'm the one.
So much of this book is so nostalgic that I literally can like picture the kind of view from lying in my childhood bed reading this book because I loved it so much. And just like little details, like when Klaus has to stay up all night reading the book and it says he found himself reading the same sentence over and over. He found himself reading the same sentence over and over. It like says it 3 times. And I remember as a kid being like, hang on, it takes you a second to realise it's written down 3 times in a row. This book is so much fun. Count Olaf is terrible, and I remember like it's such a fun one to read as a child because all of the adults in these books are terrible. Even the nice ones who are like kind to them are just so stupid and gullible, and they all like don't listen to the kids and they're like, no, Count Olaf is a nice guy. And especially when you are a child you feel so like vindicated, like I knew I was smarter than you guys. And I finished book 1 and it's 9:10, so I'm just over my aim of getting it into an hour. That's not too bad. And I also remembered this was so much more exciting when I was reading the books as they were coming out. At the end of each book there's a letter from Lemony Snicket to his editor, and it gives clues about what's coming in the next book. And I remember always reading those and then having to wait for the next book to come out. So exciting. So this time I don't have to wait at all because they're all right here, and I am going straight into the reptile room. The live read is still going on over there, so I'm literally gonna just continue straight on. At some point I will get up and have a shower, but that point is not now. Count Olaf is like properly scary considering this is a children's book. He like fully is like threatening them with knives and stuff. He's like properly scary. Oh, it describes him as sitting at the table, rubbing his knife gently against Violet's knee under the table so no one else knows that he's doing that. Ooh. This is like my favourite Friends episode. If only Uncle Monty knew what we know, and Stefano knew that he knew what we know. But Uncle Monty doesn't know what we know, and Stefano knows that he doesn't know what we know. I know, Klaus said. That's brilliant. It's just so frustrating reading people just not listening. It makes me feel like a child trying to explain myself, like when a teacher doesn't believe you about something and you're like, but I really didn't do it. I feel like that rage. He just explains the phrase meanwhile back at the ranch, and I've literally throughout my life since then never been able to hear the phrase meanwhile back at the ranch without thinking about Lemony Snicket. And another one bites the dust. It is now just before 10:10, so I did actually finish this one in basically exactly an hour. So doing well, keeping to the schedule. I am going to get up now and get dressed, and I think I'm going to take Hippo on a walk. The next one is The Wide Window, so I'm going to start listening to that one on audiobook while I walk Hippo around, and I might also go to the gym and keep listening to it on audiobook there. That will slow me down, because obviously listening to audiobooks is slower than my reading speed, but I think we're making good progress. I have some spare time at the moment. Oh my god, what are the chances? I hadn't even checked. It's all of the whole series of unfortunate events is showing on Scribd, but when you go into it, only some of them are available, and book 3 is not available. 1 and 2 are, 3 is not. That really scuppers my plans for listening at the gym. Okay, well I just wasted like half an hour faffing around trying to change my country settings on my Apple ID. It didn't work. So it's fine, I'm still going on this walk, I'm just bringing the book. I actually love this kind of weather. It's really, really cold, but it's very crisp. And it's like foggy, and yeah, it's nice being outside like this. I just had an awkward laughing out loud to myself in a park moment at this line. If you're allergic to a thing, it is best not to put that thing in your mouth, particularly if the thing is cats. Just made me laugh out loud again, and this is a bit that I actually remember laughing out loud at as a child. I remember finding it so funny, which is this. Stealing is not excusable if, for instance, you're in a museum and you decided that a certain painting would look better in your house and you simply grab the painting and take it there. But if you were very, very hungry and you had no way of obtaining money, it might be excusable to grab the painting, take it to your house and eat it. And 3 down. This one was the funniest one so far. One thing that I noticed really, really dates it is one of Count Olaf's accomplices is a person who you can't tell if they're a man or a woman. That's the thing about them that's so scary. Archie suddenly appeared as if by magic. What I was saying was, yeah, there's this person who they can't tell if they're a man or a woman, and that's their like scary thing. And then also the fact that they are constantly described as like enormously fat, and then they're really dehumanized because of it. So like they're called a creature sometimes instead of a person, and they use it instead of he or she or they. And it's, yeah, it's just interesting because it seems now like very outdated to put all of their like monstrosity on the fact that they are fat and don't fit into the gender binary, rather than the fact they want to kill children, which is mainly the part we should be focusing on. Are you working with Count Olaf? Oh my god, you look like you're working with Count Olaf, you evil dog. Oh my god, onesie is a great idea. I'm going to change into my onesie now.
Of course.
Right, I thought book 4 called for a onesie situation. Archie is also in a onesie, so we're going to be a very snuggly pair on the sofa.
Do you want this as a bookmark?
Thank you so much. Get that away from me.
What if you found it in a book?
I'd be really upset.
Yeah.
You've got so much pizza around.
Would it be very funny?
Yes. Good.
That's a bookmark. So pretty. Good girl. Stand.
Oh,
Stand.
you're so clever. And I finished book 4. I am making great progress. I actually broke down my day into the times that I need to finish each book, and I'm way ahead of schedule. But that is because the first few books are shorter and I didn't know, I couldn't bother to do that detailed maths. I literally just divided 24 hours into 13 books to work out when I needed to finish each one. So currently I actually had until 3:20 to finish book 4, and it's only 1:15 and I just finished it, which of course that's not as good as it sounds because the books are going to get longer and longer, so I will then make that time back up. But I'm doing well so far, and we've now reached a book that does have the audiobook on script. So I'm going to make some lunch while I listen to the audiobook, which is good because my eyes were getting tired from reading.
Carmelita Spatz was rude, she was violent, and she was filthy.
Vice Principal Nero! I'm not interested in your problems, quite frankly.
Any room that doesn't have Count Olaf in it is good enough for me.
The audiobook is brilliant. It's read by Lemony Snicket. I just keep chuckling to myself. My risotto is nearly finished cooking, and it is nearly 2 o'clock, so it's nearly time for the next live read-in. Trying to get all of that together in time for that. Perfect timing, and look at this delicious goat cheese and asparagus risotto.
We are a quarter of the way through.
So in this live stream, Rachel and Meg introduced, they're doing a self-care bingo board where you can they've got a competition, you can win a candle, and they've created this board, and as long as you tick off one of the rows or columns, then you're in to the competition. I'm going to attempt to tick off 2 of the columns. Yeah, so there's one column that's eat a snack. Definitely, I've already got all of my snacks planned for later. Message a friend, easy. And stretch, meditate, or get active. I was going to go to the gym anyway, on my way to the supermarket to buy my snacks. The column next to that is to light a candle, wear pyjamas, and drink a hot or cold drink. I'm already in my pyjamas. I've got all of my candles ready for when it gets dark. And what's the last one? Oh yeah, drink a hot or cold drink. I'll be doing that all day. So the only one I'm not going to do is the column on the end. I'm not going to attempt because one of them is to do a face mask. I'm just not really big into face masks. Another one is to take a TV break, and I literally do not have time in my packed reading schedule for a TV break. As I said in the live stream, I'm going to show you my next little shout out. I think they were definitely laughing at me for being insane.
Emma, I'm not kidding, I don't have time for the TV break. I said you did 3. Sorry, bitch. Oh my god, Emma, I'm on book 5 so far.
Oh my god.
You can see in their faces, they're like, you brought this on yourself, which to be fair, I did. So I'm going to snuggle down and keep reading. I'm going to switch back to the physical copy, even though I was really enjoying the audiobook. I will go faster with this. I'm going to let my risotto digest before going to the gym and then going snack shopping. It's happened, the first mention of VFD. God, I forgot you have to get literally all the way to the end of book 5 before it even gets mentioned. Whew, 5 books down. This is tiring. I'm going to get up now and go to the gym. It's nice to be up and moving again. I'm going to bring the audiobook of book 6 with me. And then the bit that I'm most excited for of the day, I'm going to go and buy my snacks. So for some reason, Scribd had the US version of the audiobook for book 5, but the UK one for book 6. So the narrator of this one is Tim Curry, which is very cool. He's very good at it, but I really liked having Lemony Snicket do it, or Daniel Handler do it. I always just like having the author narrate their own work because I feel like they get the pacing always exactly how they imagined it. Okay, food haul! Even though I didn't get what I actually have my heart set on, which is Waitrose. I don't usually go to Waitrose, but I went all the way to Waitrose because they did this delicious basil and pecorino dip that I wanted, and I got there and they were out of stock, and I was really grumpy. So, I went to Waitrose for no reason, but I did get Doritos. I did get Baby Bells, my favourites. I also, seeing as I wasn't getting my fancy dip, I thought I'd treat myself with some fancy cheese. We already have some crackers, so that's really nice. I got some cookies. And I got some coffee ice cream. I hate coffee, this is for Raji, but that's for him, and I already have some vegan Ben & Jerry's cookie dough in the freezer. I'm gonna try and eat snacks for now, wait as late as I can to get dinner, because I think basically the only thing that's gonna keep me up through the night is regular eating, regular tea. But first I need to shower and get back into my onesie so I'm comfy again. Or even better, I'm gonna have a bath and then read in the bath. Because I've lost quite a lot of my time advantage from how much slower the audiobook is. As much as I am really enjoying it. Tim Curry's pretty good actually. Okay, I am bathed, I am cozy. I am probably now fully in the house until 8 AM tomorrow morning and beyond, because at that point I will go to sleep. So I'm settling in for a good while now. And I'm getting towards the end of the Ersatz Elevator. So I need to hurry through that one if I'm going to keep to my strict schedule. I just realised I can stamp off some of my bingo card. Get active. Went to the gym. Eat a snack. Yep, I was just eating some Doritos. Wear PJs. Yes, I am. Drink a hot or cold drink. You know what? I'm going to go get my first Diet Coke of the day. I'm not going to light my candles yet because I don't want to risk getting too cozy and sleepy. I've still got a lot of hours ahead of me. Love a DC. What are the things I need to do? Message a friend. I'll do that right now. I actually have some texts I haven't replied to yet. Miss Popular. He did a really clever playing with the idea of a red herring using a literal red herring. And I'm probably not supposed to find that as clever and funny as I do, but I really do. Phew, okay, finished book 6. We are going on to book 7, which brings me to halfway through the series. So, it is coming up, it's nearly 7 o'clock, which is when cozy reading night starts. So I'm going to make myself a little selection of snacks and stuff so that I have that ready for cozy reading night and then go straight on. Look at that spread. That is cozy reading night material. Can't they just go back and live with Justice Strauss? I know in the first place they couldn't because the will said they had to live with a relative, blah blah, but they keep getting passed off to random people at this point anyway, so can't they just call up Justice Strauss? She wanted to take them. Maybe that's how it ends, I don't know. I don't really remember this book at all, so here's where it's getting quite fun because up until the elevator one, I think I've reread up until there relatively recently, like 5 years ago, so I remember that one quite well. Whereas this one, I have read, but I don't remember anything about it. I think I have read up until the circus one and the carnival one, whatever it's called. Beyond that, it's all going to be totally brand new. But this feels pretty brand new because it's been like decades since I read it. Okay, I have a question. I keep coming across the word sneaked in this book. Is that the American way of saying snuck? Because, or have I always just got that word wrong? Because I would only ever say snuck. Every time I read sneaked, it seems really wrong, but it keeps coming up in this book. I'm going to solve this right now. I'm going to Google it. Apparently it is kind of looked down on. Snuck is more often used in North American English. Okay, well there you go. I've always been using snuck. I started to wonder, was that just a British thing? But no, that's not the answer. Okay, problem solved. Thank you so much. Oh, so we now have a character, not Lemony Snicket, but another Snicket, has like become part of this story. Like Lemony Snicket has featured in here before. We know that he kind of exists in this world because Beatrice exists in this world, who's the woman that he like dedicates the books to. But now we have another character with the surname Snicket like fully in this story. I'm so intrigued to see how this is all gonna work. We're getting like loads of mysteries. I don't remember ever reading this book at all before, but there's like loads of questions popping up. I feel like the first like 4 books are just this like, they're really fun, they're really funny, but they're just this quite like formulaic like children's book adventure. And then from 5 onwards it's like, now we're going to introduce this ongoing story and mystery that binds them all together, and it's going to get confusing. I'm excited. Though why does it have to get confusing when I'm going into the second half of the readathon when my brain is going to be very tired? Okay, perfect timing. I just finished book 7 and it is 5 to 8, which means it's almost exactly halfway through the readathon, and I'm more than halfway through, which is great news. And at 8 there is the next live reading. So I'm turning it on now. I'm gonna eat a cookie and then what even is the next book called? I'm going into like really uncharted territory. The Hostile Hospital. See, I don't remember this one either, but I definitely know I read the circus one, so I must have read this. Very exciting. I love getting into all this stuff that I don't know and don't remember.
Actually go through each of those and pick a book.
How is it that I'm so full, especially after just eating this cookie, and yet Rachel is eating a brownie on the live show and it's making me really want a brownie, and I don't have any brownies. Error. Okay, I think it is time to light my candles now that I'm moving into the second half of my book stack and second half of the TBR. My candles are like a little bit worse for wear at the moment, particularly this one. This one's basically on its last legs. This one's a Christmas one as well, so we'll just finish it off. Literally, could I have messed up that candle lighting experience more? Oh no. No. Did you see me literally drop a burning flame onto my carpet? Okay, fire crisis averted. Let's read this book. I'm starting a series of unfortunate events in my life now, jeez. Just finished number 8. Oh, I'm starting to get tired. It's not even 10 o'clock and I'm already like fully feeling like I could shut my eyes, and I still have 5 full books left to read, which is starting to feel like a serious chore. So I'm going to splash my face with water, make myself some tea, order some pizza, even though I'm so full. I feel like having hot food around might help. You can do this, Emma. I'm actually impressed that I've even got this far this early. I'm still ahead of my schedule. I'm way more than halfway through. Just think, Emma, the faster you read, the faster you can sleep. Where am I heading next? The Carnivorous Carnival. Okay, so this is the only one left that I've already read. My most and least wholesome mugs. This one's for me today. This one's for Archie. Can you believe I have been reading literally non-stop for 14 hours, but I've also walked 15,000 steps.
You've done so much today. I'm super impressed.
Superwoman. Now I really don't want to read 5 more books. I'm so tired. And I don't want to eat a pizza. I'm so full. I have 10 hours left before this is over. I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old.
At a certain point,
sleeping.
I'm just going to be scaring Emma. And it's going to amount to psychological torture.
Why? What are you going to do?
You asked me to keep you up.
I know, but it's Saturday night at 10 PM. It's clearly bedtime. Yeah, I said earlier I was feeling sleepy, and next thing I know, Archie's just like incessantly slapping my face.
Hey,
It worked, and I'm still awake. Right, let's head off to the Carnivorous Carnival.
DNF.
DNF? Oh, that's such a shame. Meh. You got others. There's more where that came from. Oh hey, look what arrived. I think after this pizza I might have to start reading while walking up and down the stairs or something, because A, that'll keep me awake, and B, I feel like I was coping better during the day when I had like a change of scenery through all the books, whereas now I'm just on this sofa working my way through 5 books in a row.
It's a
I
lot.
can't keep that stamina. So
You
I
need
might
to take a little break as well.
I don't have time for breaks.
Like 5 minutes.
I can take a 5-minute break.
Yeah.
I'll take a 5-minute break right now, eat this pizza. I love pizza. Oh my god, there's just been such a big twist that I don't remember. I mean, not a twist, just like a plot reveal. I remember this setting, because I guess it's a pretty memorable setting, being like at a circus and they're like in the freak show, and that's all a bit cruel. So I remember that, but like something big just happened that I don't remember. This is exciting. We get so many anagrams of Count Olaf's name with his various disguises. I'm just like really disappointed that no one's been called Cuntloaf yet. Okay, 8 down and 4 to go and 8 hours to go. So that's good. That means I have 2 hours left per book. I think I can do it, but I am gonna have to start walking around a bit. I might take a real quick break and see if Archie wants to play a game with me, and then I'm going straight back in. Go! Backbeak! Hedwig, run. Sword of Gryffindor.
Snape. Cat. What's the cat?
Crookshanks. Hedwig. Chocolate Frog. McGonagall. Malfoy. Lucius.
I know.
Lucius.
Chocolate dinosaur?
Dragon? The dragon. And Sirius. Okay, we are now entering uncharted territory. My next book is book number 10, and this is the first one that I have never read before. I don't think. I'm pretty certain I stopped maybe halfway through the Carnival one the first time around when I was a kid, so this is brand new. I'm liking where this is going. I'm really enjoying the series, even though I'm sleepy. Much as I loved the early ones, I liked when it stopped following that same formula, and now it's like them on the run, rather than them being kind of given to different guardians and adults not believing them again. We're in a new place now. I'm excited, but I'm just like really hoping that I don't completely just crash and fall asleep and fail. Which I may, but that's what the tea's for. I'm gonna read this one on the move to see if it keeps me awake. This is the extent of my walk through the house. How many times can I do this before I get bored? I'm already quite bored. She's still going! I didn't last long walking up and down the stairs because that was quite boring. But now I'm back on the sofa again and I just feel like I've been here for years. I'm considering moving upstairs and lying on my bed, but that's also a dangerous game to play. I'm really enjoying this book though, The Slippery Slopes. This is number 10. We're finding out like a lot more about VFD and well, I mean, it's posing more questions than giving answers so far, but I'm enjoying it. It's really good fun. So I don't want to fall asleep. I'm not feeling like, this is a chore. I'm having a good time. I just wish it was the middle of the day and not the middle of the night. Oh my god, I've been reading for so long that Sunny can talk now. How much time has passed? And I finished book 10. Yay! Can you tell I'm really running out of steam? I did work out how many pages I've read. Okay, so now that I finished this one, I have read so far 2,374 pages. That's too many pages to read in one day. And there are 3,034 total. That means there are 660 pages left to read. So far I've been reading at a rate of just under 132 pages per hour. I have just under 6 hours left and 660 pages. So that's just like a little under 110 pages per hour. So yeah, the speed I'm going at, I'm actually on track to finish this. But do I want to? This is fully 3 full books left. They're not short ones at this point. These are full-length books. I hate quitting things and I've done so well, and the fact, like when I started this I kind of thought it was impossible, and the fact that technically I could finish the whole 13 book series in 24 hours is so cool. Will you read some of it for me? So I really don't want to quit, but at the same time I really want to go to sleep. Was that the longest one? In fact, see, that one's even longer. I just want to go to bed. I don't know what to do. I was going to say I'll be so proud of myself if I get through it, but also, will I? Why am I doing this? Nobody asked me to do this. No one will consider this an achievement if I tell people about it. They'll just be like, why? Why? I made a poll on Instagram and so far it's on 50-50, which is not helping me. I know if I go to bed I'll be disappointed. I know it's a stupid challenge, but it's fun that I could do it. I've decided. Emeraldton does not give up. But I am moving off this sofa because fuck this place. Here's what I need. Oh my god, look at those bags under my eyes. This is a terrible idea. Here's what I need if I'm going to make this work. I need my 3rd Diet Coke of the day. I'm so sorry, teeth and body. I need more pizza, which I've just put in the oven. I need to sit on a slightly less comfortable sofa because then I'll feel less like falling asleep. And I need you to slap my face if you see my eyes shutting. Not right now. No.
Do a pirouette. That's nice.
Hey look, the night sky. Hey look, pizza. Hey look, everything's okay. Am I crying? I'm not sure. This book's called The Grim Grotto. Oh, they're underwater. Just like my brain feels. Gotta keep it moving. This book has a lot of long words in it. Does it not know that it's nearly 4 in the morning? Okay, I'm glad I did that because I do feel like I've had a bit of a second wave. I mean, you know, let's not get carried away. I'm still sleepy, but having now finished book 11, I do feel ready to go straight into book 12. This one is the longest one so far, I believe, so that's not great. Also, for the first time today, I am late. I'm behind on my schedule. I've like stayed ahead of it this whole time and now I'm half an hour behind. So I might not finish quite by 8 AM, but it shouldn't be too long afterwards. I'm still really enjoying it. The last book, like he's definitely trying to make some points about like morality now, about people being a mix of good and bad, not one thing or the other, which is obviously great, but it's like it seems a little out of place because actually for the first like 7 books in the series you do have these really cartoonishly bad characters, so now suddenly trying to introduce like, oh well, no one's one thing or the other doesn't really feel like it fits, but maybe I'll get the hang of that. So this one is called The Penultimate Peril. We've met all sorts of interesting characters that I'm actually like really glad I'm reading these all in a row, because otherwise I think I'd struggle to keep track of who everyone is. Anyway, time for The Penultimate Peril. But what I'm going to do is, it's now 4:30, I'm actually going to change back into my night pajamas. Keep things changing, you know. What I did through the whole of the Grim Grotto is every time it was the start of a new chapter, I had to get up and do squats for the first few pages, and that really helped keep my energy up. So maybe I'll keep doing that. I think it's when I sit down for too long is when I start being like, oh, you know what, sleep is nice, isn't it? Sleepiness is really coming back. Come on, you're so close. We're up and walking around again. It's the only way forward. Also, this book is such a confusing one to read when your brain is sleepy. It's them like constantly trying to figure out who people are with like identical twins, and they're not sure who's good or who's bad. And it reminds me of those riddles that I used to like when I was younger, that are like half the people on this island lie and half of them tell the truth, and you have to figure out, like, in 3 questions, how can you figure out if someone's lying or telling the truth? You know what I mean? Those ones? It feels like a book version of those puzzles, which is really cool and really fun, but not at, what time is it? 5:30 in the morning when my brain's tired. Are you just staying up because we're staying up? I already brushed my teeth, but I've now gone back into a full sleep mood, so I think food is the only solution. I'm so full. I don't want to eat anything. I'm gonna have such a tummy ache from eating all this food that my tummy didn't want. But it's the only way. Oh, it's 7 AM, so the final live show has just started, and I really wanted to have finished this book before then, but I have literally this much left. Ah, it's fine. And this isn't even the final bit. I'm so close, so close, but so far. I'm gonna watch the live show for a bit. I'm getting so much love on this live, making me really feel like it was worth it to stay up. Watch this.
Emma, oh my god. Emma, I can't believe it. You've not slept.
I believe in you. I'm in shock.
Oh, okay. So I just finished book 12, and the thing I was saying earlier about it being kind of about like morality, it actually didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I felt like it was going like a little bit overly sentimental, and it actually took a kind of unexpected turn with it. I can't really figure out what I make of it at the moment, but it's interesting. It's cool. I'm really enjoying these books. They like get a lot deeper than you would guess from the first ones. So now my decision is it's like 7:10 now. I have one more book left, but it's another big, like, longer one. But technically the 24-hour readathon does go until 8, so I might as well start book 13 down here with Rachel and Meg reading here anyway, but there is a good chance I will fall asleep before I actually finish that book. So it's happening. 23 bloody hours later, I'm starting the final book in the series. For Beatrice, I cherished, you perished, the world's been nightmarish. My eyes and brain have fully lost the ability to read now. I read the first chapter of the final book. I was not expecting to enjoy that as much as I did, but also I do feel very confused by it. Partly because it's confusing, partly because I'm tired. So I might have to do some Wikipediaing tomorrow when my brain's working better and like make sure that I understood everything right. But for now, it's been a full 24 hours. I'm taking myself to bed. It is Sunday now. I slept for like 5 hours and then my alarm went off to remind me to not become a literal night owl. Yesterday feels like an actual dream. Like, did I do that? Did I read for 24 hours straight? I went through this morning when I first got up and couldn't quite roll out of bed. added all of the first 12 books to my Goodreads. And I was just like, did I really read those? That's 12 books in a row. Did I actually? The events in them are like blurring with my real life. That's what sleep deprivation will do to you. So something like that. The thought of reading the final 13th book now kind of makes me want to cry. But also, I really want to see this through. And I do want to know, like, there's still unsolved mysteries up in the air. I'm really hoping this book is going to solve them. Or at least, like, give me something satisfying, because I feel like it's just been more and more unanswered questions. So I might get up and take Hippo for a walk and read as I walk again. That might be a nice way to not feel like I'm just back in the same dream from yesterday. I feel like this nice reading and walking situation I've got going on is very much on borrowed time, because the sky is so dark and grey right now. Like, I just actually saw it get darker. I feel like it's about to start pouring with rain any second now. We're just gonna keep going until that happens. This book is so strange. I feel like it's just throwing up. It feels a little bit like watching Lost, like in the later seasons of Lost, where you're just like, someone please tell me what is going on. Also, I've avoided the rain for 45 minutes, but it really feels like it's about to start, so I'm gonna start heading home. We meet again. Pizza leftovers. What was in the sugar bowl? I feel like that didn't answer so many questions. That's so weird. That's so weird. Well, it finished on one answer that I already knew. But what was in the sugar bowl? That was such a bizarre way to end the series. I'm in distress. But I can't say that I didn't like it. I did really like it. I quite like that it just leaves you being like... Because a lot of what they talk about is these unanswered mysteries and like whether we need to know the answers to everything. So it's deliberate, but it's also just like, just tell me. Just give me something. I stayed up all night reading you. You have to give me something. Well, I did it. I've done it. I've read 13 books in a little over 24 hours, to be honest. So I did 24 hours and then I was reading again from like just before 2 to just before 4. So 26 hours. Yeah, basically took me roughly 2 hours per book. I read the whole series of Unfortunate Events. Finally, I was going to say I know what they're about. I don't know what they're about. But these have been sitting on my shelf for so long and I've been so intrigued. I actually don't know many people who've read all the way to the end. Like, so many of me and my friends read those early ones. But it just becomes like a totally different type of book. The tone is really different. Like, it's still the same comedy and the same style of writing, but it's a bit like Harry Potter, I guess, where the books are not aimed at the same age group. Like, the early ones you can read when you're really young, but the older ones are definitely for older readers. I feel like this is the same. You're kind of supposed to grow up with them. And it's just interesting that, unlike Harry Potter, most of us didn't. Like, most of my friends who were the right age with me for those early ones did stop reading before the end of the series, and I wonder why. You know what, my overall impression of that is really positive. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that experience. I mean, try telling myself that at 3 AM. I was so tired and unhappy and really wanted to go to bed, but I'm really glad that I kept going for the whole 24 hours. And that was really fun, and I'm now so glad that I can say I've read these books and know that I do really enjoy them. I am going to have to go and get lost down some internet rabbit holes, because I feel like there's bound to be connections in here that I just didn't pick up on, especially when I was so sleepy. So I want to go onto some like series of Unfortunate Event forums and see what people think, see what theories there are out there. I did it. I read the series of Unfortunate Events in just over 24 hours, and now I'm just gonna lie down and die. I think that's all that's left to do, really. Why have I done this? And now my weekend's nearly over and I'm so tired and so full of so much food. That might be the last 24-hour readathon I ever do, because that was so exhausting. But knowing me, I will instantly forget how much I hated it in the early hours of the morning, and I'll do one again. So if there are any other massive book series you think I should read in 24 hours, maybe I'll do it again in a year. I mean, to be honest, this like looks like, if you put all these books together, that's like the same height as my Harry Potter stack anyway, though these ones have quite big writing, so I don't think I could make it through the Harry Potter series in 24 hours. But now that I've said that, I really want to try. What have I done?